Today, whether you are a seasoned pro, a brand new parent, or anywhere in between there, this episode is for you. You see, we often hear the tales of the sleepless nights, the endless diaper changes, toddler tantrums, but today we're here to remind you that parenthood is so much more than that crazy chaos. It is a journey filled with love, laughter, and truly moments that will take your breath away. So stick with me. It may get a little corny, but today's episode is going to be a great reminder for all parents. Hi, I'm Jenna Dix, and I'm always rambling. Just ask my husband. I have a great family and a pretty cool life, but I'm a recovered alcoholic. That's hard to say, but my goal is to inspire and educate to help others hopefully find life beyond an addiction. I'm all things: sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Getting healthy, momming, and politics. Get offended easily? You better stop listening. There is no point in wasting that Botox by stressing yourself out listening to a podcast. Welcome to Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dix.
Today's episode brought to you by products and services I'm thoroughly addicted to. Hey there, memory makers and candid capturers. Are you looking for a photographer who turns every moment into a work of art? Look no further than Catherine Smith Photography. From senior photos that capture the essence of your student's unique journey to a heartwarming family photo shoot that freezes time with every click, Catherine has a knack for making your memories last a lifetime. Our family has actually trusted Catherine for years to capture our most amazing memories, including our wedding all the way to our photo shoots for our family every single year. And we cannot get enough of her incredible work. She brings a fun, lighthearted vibe to every photo session, making the experience as unforgettable as the photos themselves. So whether you're celebrating a senior milestone, gathering the family for a portrait perfect moment, letting the kids be kids in a playful shoot, or saying I do with the love of your life, Catherine Smith Photography has got you covered. Book your session today and create memories that you will never forget. Capture the joy, capture the love, capture life with Catherine Smith Photography. Catch Catherine's information down below in the show notes.
Hey there. It has been a while. It's been a couple weeks, and that's rare. Usually I'm on here rambling at least once a week, if not a couple times, but I thank you for hanging with me. I did get nailed with one of those really cool fall colds / sinus deals, and it just was not a good time to be podcasting because, y'all don't need to be hearing that, right? So I want to thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Like I said, it's going to be a great one for parents with kids of all ages. You know, whether you are someone that just found out, just got to see your first ultrasound, or maybe you are a parent that's been around the block a couple times. But today, we are just going to be talking about some great reminders to keep us focused on the positives. Because I think in life, we all need that reminder in all arenas. But parenting can be a difficult journey sometimes. Whether it be just because as parents we're stressed out a little bit from flipping on and off so many different hats that we have to wear, or maybe your kids are just in a really cool yet really crappy stage of life. But this is going to be a good episode for you to share with any other parents that you have in your life that may be struggling, maybe somebody in your life that just found out they're about to be having their first baby, or they're on their way to having a second or a third. But feel free to share this episode with them. Make sure if you have not yet rated and subscribed to the podcast, you also do that. It helps us with that really cool algorithm system that, you know, different podcasting and social media apps have. It's just the nature of the beast, right? So make sure to get on there, rate the podcast. I appreciate all reviews. And of course, I'm going to ask, give it a 5-star. If you like Ramblings of an Addict, please get on there and give it a 5-star review. All right, so diving into today's episode. This inspo actually came to me about a week ago at this point, because I was at the gym and I was chatting with one of the trainers, actually the trainer that got me into the little boutique-ish gym that we go to. And we were chatting, and I don't even remember how it happened, but he said something about how when the baby comes or something, and he dropped it so nonchalantly, like I'd known. And I looked at him and I was like, wait, what? I was like, is there a baby on the way? And he got this huge ear-to-ear grin, so excited, and he was like, yeah, we're pregnant. It was so amazing to see the pure joy on this young guy's face. And I was, in the middle of a lift, so I can't remember if it was right after I set it down or whatever, but I looked over at him and I said, you know how it started was he said something to the effect of, and I get it, I got to make sure I'm getting all my sleep now. And he kind of rolled his eyes, not in like a I hate this comment way, but just more like, yeah, I've heard, like, you don't have to tell me what I've already been hearing, Jenna, from other parents, right? And I looked at him and I was like, oh, dude, yeah, absolutely. Get your sleep now. But here's the deal. Like, you will figure it out. You and your wife will nail down the schedule. Will it be perfect? Probably not. You'll have to continue to ebb and flow. That was kind of the gist of where I went with that. And I looked at him and I said, and I'll be honest. I said, you're probably hearing some of the worst right now. People are telling you like all the scary factors, or they're telling you their birthing stories that are just not great. And are all of those things possibilities? Absolutely. But just remember, you are about to like dive into a season that is going to be so awesome. And he just got this smile. And I was like, seriously, like, parents share all the bad things, but just remember the good totally outweighs it. And he's like, thank you. He's like, you know what? Yeah, parents don't really do that, do they? And it just got me thinking, because no, we/they, right, don't. And I can definitely attest to the fact that have there been moments where I'm like, oh, my Lana, parenting is effing hard. Yeah. I have 2 children, and they span 13 years. So with having my bonus daughter, who is 16, and having a 3-year-old, we have quite the gamut in our house. We're dealing with essentially 2 different worlds with the age gap there. So yeah, parenting is hard, for sure. And I'm sure, even if it was just one of them, like I remember when it was just Haley, it was still hard. When Haley was splitting the households 50-50, and we would have a full week with just Mac, it was still hard. So yeah, it is hard. And there's moments that we're like, oh my gosh, I want to spew all the bad things. I want to warn this person about what they could be getting into a little bit, I don't know if it's like a badge of honor we wear or what. But nonetheless, I just got to thinking about this after that short interaction with the guy. And by the time we left the gym that day, I think I'd said congrats like 3 or 4 times. My husband had said congrats. He was so cheerful and joyful about talking about it and how excited he was. And this guy's going into a couple different seasons of change with business and things he's doing as well. But there was just pure excitement, which was awesome. And the thing of it is, when I came home and I was thinking about why as parents do we kind of paint it like that? Not all of us, not all the time, but overall, there's like this meme almost, right? Or joke over the top of parenting. And has it been there forever? Maybe, I don't know. Like maybe I should have sat down and asked my grandma or something before I started recording this. But definitely in the recent years, there's, like I said, it's almost like a meme feel of just humor, sarcasm, over the top of parenting. And I got to thinking that if parenting were truly how it's portrayed online or through advice we get from peers, why would anyone want to have a baby, right? That's kind of where my brain went. Like, if that's truly how it was, no one would want a baby. And don't be like getting your undies in a bunch being like, Jenna, like parents are joking. Like, can't you just take a joke? Da da da, chill out. Yeah, I get it. But we've like created this culture of like, hashtag parenting sucks. And have I used some of those hashtags in the past that are, not hashtag parenting sucks, but like, hashtag toddler mom or things like that in a sarcastic way? Probably. I'm like trying to like rack my brain. More than likely I have. But it is so much more than that. It is so much more than that. And I think, thankfully, parents see that. People know that. That's why there are still people having babies, right? And whether it be because they're able to see through the bullshit of the meme that parents are putting over the top of parenting, or, right, a lot of people have been blessed with great interactions with children themselves or watching great parent-child interactions. I also do feel that parenting is definitely a natural instinct given to the majority by God. I watch even just McKenna. She's 3 years old. And watching her be so nurturing to her toys. Oh, it's okay, baby. Mommy's here. Mommy's here. It's just such a natural thing. And does that mean because it, natural and we've seen those good interactions that parenting is going to be easy? No. We all know that, right? Parenting is hard, absolutely. But just like any other hard things in life, I think it's important that we need to pause and reflect on the positives, because that's what helps us charge through. Like, even when I was working as a corporate health coach, I remember I created a file of all my positive testimonies. My positive testimonies about clients' journeys, my positive testimonies from clients about my coaching. That way, if I was ever having a hard moment or a hard day, I could go into that file and open some of those stories and be like, okay, I can do this. We can keep charging forward, right? Parenting is absolutely no different. One thing that Mac loves to do, so she loves watching videos on mom's phone. Videos of all kinds, like YouTube, all that, of course. But what I mean specifically here is she loves going into my photo albums and watching old videos. And there's been evenings that it's been a rough day. And we're laying in bed, and she'll be like, Mommy, let's watch my videos. I'm like, okay. So we'll pop open the videos, and we start watching videos of her throughout the last few years here. And it brings so much peace and joy. And oh my goodness, tears in my eyes at this moment. Like, see, parenting, like the joys are there. And the positives and the joys are what we need to dive in on. So, like I said, this inspo hit me about a week ago. And I thought to myself, we need to dive in on those positives more. So I decided to reach out to a few different Ramblings listeners and peers of mine and get their insights on what they've loved about parenting, their personal positives, to share with you so that, number one, we just get extra inspo. Maybe it gives you some ideas about different inspo to pull from your own parenting journey. Or maybe you're a brand new parent or a brand new to-be parent, and this inspo is what you need to be like, oh, this is going to be freaking awesome. Will there be hard days? Yeah. But the positives will outweigh it by multiples. Okay? So, just to give you a little background, so these parents that I reached out to are a blend of ages. Their kids are a blend of ages. Some of them still have littles in the house. Some of them don't even have kids in the house anymore. And they also have a blend of number of kids. So some are, single child parent. Others have multiples. And I can tell you, I know all of these individuals personally, and I can tell you they do not have perfect lives. They do not have perfect children. They do not have perfect parenting styles, right? We all have our ups and our downs. But I say that not to dig at them, because I love all these individuals. I say that because they're just normal parents, just like me and you. Just like if you are a parent to be, just like you will be, okay? I've heard from these people about some of their bad days or about some of the parenting journeys that they've experienced. And all you can do at some point is just laugh and shake your head and then take a step back and focus on the positives. So we are going to jump right in, and I'm going to share those with you, and we will come back and just kind of highlight a few of those positives together. And I hope pop in, whether you have your earbuds popped in or whatever, I hope you can just take a second, pause, and just really reflect as you listen to these.
I have loved watching my kids grow and change and learn. One of the ways I loved watching that is by taking them on outings, taking them on little field trips per se. We would go to the zoo or the apple orchard or the pumpkin patch. One year, I subleased a pool pass, and we went to the pool all the time together. Loved doing activities with them. We were told that to enjoy Minnesota winters, that we needed to get a winter sport. So I chose skiing, downhill skiing, and my husband and I taught our kids how to downhill ski, and it was the best thing we could have done. We loved winters from that point. In fact, we were sad when the snow would melt.
I'd say one of my favorite things about being a parent is seeing the world through my kids' eyes. There's just something about how, as an adult, we forget about some of the joys that they experience or we experienced as a kid, and getting to live some of those things again vicariously through our kids and watch their joy and excitement. It just brings me so much joy and excitement that I can't wait to do life with them.
Okay, so the first thing I thought of when you asked me what my favorite thing about parenting was, I was going to say that it's the shots of rum chata I get to do all throughout the day, having to deal with a 2.5-year-old toddler who's fighting, battling, throwing fits, making messes, and all of that stuff. And that's just my sarcasm coming out. And then the more I thought about it, and the more that I reflected on it through my day delivering mail today, there's only one thing that I can come up with that is the top of the list. And that's, and this might sound corny, and I don't even care, it's the development that you are allowed to do with your child that just blows my mind. All the negativity that you hear and all of the stuff you have to battle through. And as you know, my kid's 2.5. We're in the terrible 2s, coming up to just the 3s, which I've heard are just as challenging. All of that is made 100% worth it when I watch my kid learn, develop, pick up my mannerisms, repeat what I say like a parrot on my shoulder. Some things you shouldn't say, but that is my favorite thing. And it amazes me every time I see it. For example, we were all playing the other day, and we got into a giggle fit, all of us, just laughing. And my wife is laughing so hard she's crying. And Morgan looks at her and says, in that toddler voice, "Oh no." And he sprints, because kids don't do anything but run fast. sprints to the bathroom, and I said to my wife, I go, what is he doing? She goes, just wait. And he comes out with a tissue, and he runs it over and says, Mommy's sad. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh. He recognized tears as, needing a tissue to wipe your tears away. And I was flabbergasted. And it was adorable. It was just adorable. And of course, he doesn't understand laughing tears versus crying tears, but it was just the act. Or the simple things when I leave for work every day, I say, goodbye, have a good day. And just yesterday, I said, bye, Morgan, I got to go to work. And he goes, bye, have a good day. In baby speak, he doesn't say everything announced correctly or enunciated correctly. But that is the stuff that just blows my mind. The smooth brain that I have the ability to make wrinkle how I want to. That's what I love. That's what I love about parenting. That's what makes it worth it. You see that development. You get so proud. It is just unbelievable. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Nothing.
I would like to first start off by saying, as parents, we are there to provide guidance and support, structure, and discipline, and a good moral foundation for our children to grow up with. And as parents, we're not supposed to be their best friend. Communication is so important, and to be able to have that understanding between the parent and the child so that you can talk through things, good or bad, is so super important. As a parent, my kids are grown and gone now. Mine are 26 and 21. But honestly, to have these adult conversations with them now and to be so happy and so proud of what I instilled in them to create strong, independent young adults is so rewarding as a parent. And yes, we all fail. We all falter. We are human. We make mistakes. But you continue to learn and grow and not just nurture your children, but nurture yourself and draw in that guidance from all different sources. And then just to continue to have, a good, strong Christian support system, I think is truly key. And it is so rewarding to see your children be happy and successful and have fun. Have fun with your kids. And no, that doesn't mean spending a fortune either. Quality time with your children and just doing things outdoors and enjoying nature, enjoying the simple things in life. Simple means a lot. So that's my takeaway. Hope you enjoy.
So thank you so much for bearing with that a little bit. I know that last one, I think we had a little tech glitch, but her message was on point. So hopefully you're able to crank up your volume and hear that. But what amazing messages from 4 different parents. We definitely, of course, have to get the dad sarcasm in there. Which honestly, though, I totally appreciate it because like I said, right, there's like this meme over parenting. And right now we need to be able to kind of giggle about it and have some lightness with life as well. But then you heard, as he kind of shifted gears there a little bit, how watching his child, like he couldn't even put words to it. Like he was kind of hemming and hawing a little bit as he was like grabbing at words. And knowing this gentleman myself, I think it's because like he's just so in awe at the fact of, holy crap, think of the depths of this. This is absolutely amazing. And yeah, he may have a rum chata shot here and there, obviously, but the life itself with his child is amazing. And one of the other ones in there talking about, creating hobbies with your kids and, being able to watch the world through their eyes, finding the joy in it, which, oh my Lana, that one nailed one of the thoughts that I have as a parent, because with McKenna, who, don't get me wrong, the girl can throw a tantrum like no other, but she also is so incredibly joyful. The smile on that girl's face is almost always there. Like, people joke about it. Like, they'll see her and be like, is she ever not smiling? I'm like, oh yeah, plenty. But overall, for the most part, the kid is happy and joyful. And there's been more than one occasion that I'm like, I need to be able to watch that more and grab at that more, because I need to learn from my child. 100%. So, just a couple tips as we're wrapping up here. If you are somebody that's about to be a parent for the first time, or maybe you're just a parent and you're kind of in a rut, you're in a crappy season and you're like, Jenna, this is just really hard. Which, yeah, it is, right? Like, my tip is to start a journal. And it can be a journal for you, and you can write like the goods and the bads, the uglies, the beautifuls, right? Or a gift that I was given when McKenna was first born was a notebook journal that I will give to her when she gets big. And that reminds me, I actually need to write in there. I haven't written in there for a while, but it gives me a chance to put down these positive parenting thoughts for her to come back to at some point, right? Like, obviously I haven't completely decided like when I'm going to give it to her or whenever, but I just think it's going to be a great opportunity for her to look back on the joys and the positives of what life with her was like through mom's eyes, right? Maybe when she's a mom someday, she can look back at that and be like, oh, my mom did have some struggles, but look at these positives and look at how they parallel my positives. And, you know, wishful thinking, but I do hope that it does come to fruition. All right. And remember, my tip. If you have somebody come to you and they're like, oh, I'm about to be a parent and da-da-da, they're so excited. Don't just share the crappy information with them. Don't just think, well, it's my turn, now I get to pass it on. No, share the positives, right? Maybe even share, a funny story or a story that, has a positive twist. Like, oh, like, listen to this, but wait, this is what came out of it. Or maybe a helpful tip. Don't be the negative Nelly, negative Nancy on their excitement, okay? I talked to this gentleman and I was telling him, it's going to be great. It's definitely exciting. I said, my one random tip for you, pack a little container of coconut oil for the hospital. Because I said, if you haven't learned yet, their first number 2, and actually the first couple, if I recall correctly, are not the most pleasant, right? So right when she was born, somebody had told me to put coconut oil on her little rear end, and I did. Mike did. I'm pretty sure when he did it, I had still had my epidural. My legs weren't working. So Mike did. He put coconut oil on her. So when she had her first number 2, it wasn't as painful for either of them, because usually it's daddy changing diaper number 1, and it made it easier so he didn't have to wipe her a bunch and she didn't have a horrible first diaper change experience, right? So that's my tip. Feel free to share that with other parents. Tiny little container of coconut oil, and then truth be told, that container just made its way home, and we put that on her for months. That was what we wound up using for the most part, instead of like diaper creams or anything like that. Like, we just used coconut oil for, I want to say actually it was probably close to a year. So that's my tip. So as we're wrapping, may your parenting journey be filled with love, tons of joy, as one of those parents recommended in there also, right? Faith, and countless blessings. Remember, as a parent, we are entrusted with these children as gifts from God. The most precious gifts of all, if you really think about it. Raise them up for Him. And as you are keeping yourself wrapped in the full armor of God, like I tell you every episode, make sure that you're teaching them and wrapping them in the armor of God as well. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you in the next ramblings.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Ramblings of an Addict with Jenna Dix. Remember, if you are battling an addiction, reach out for help and support. There are many resources available to assist in your journey towards recovery. Surround yourself with a supportive community and never give up on the path towards a healthier and happier life. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and joining me on this journey. As you heard, I'm always rambling. But seriously, thank you for your support and make sure to subscribe and follow my channel. I can't wait to share more with you on the next episode. Until then, keep on rambling. If you have found this podcast helpful and want to dive deeper into personal growth and self-improvement, be sure to head over to my website, jennadix.com. You'll find a wealth of resources there. There is a little less drugs, sex, and rock and roll these days, but whether you're interested in getting healthy, information on momming or parenting, or politics, jennadix.com has something for everyone. So, what are you waiting for? Head to jennadix.com today and start your journey towards personal growth and self-awareness. See you there.